Hello guys, and welcome to this video where I will show you Hotlap around Brazil, then the setup I use, and finally the race strategy. So let's jump right into the Hotlap. Get the DRS on for the straight, and then coming down to turn 1 you want to brake after the 50 meter board just before the F sign on your right side. Going down to 3rd or 4th and then try to cut the corner in turn 2. Staying on the left side of the track, going out of turn 3 to minimize the track meters, and then get the DRS on. Coming down to turn 4 you want to brake at the 100 meter board, try to get the inside tires on the curb and then get the throttle down as fast as possible to get a lot of exit speed. Then down to turn 6 where you want to carry a lot of speed into the corner, but brake just after the 50 meter board, going down to 6th gear and then just push that throttle. Try to look at my throttle, how much you can push it, and then coming up to turn 7 where you brake just before the big Qatar sign on the left. Going down to 2nd, short shifting to 3rd. Coming into turn 9 where you just tap the brakes into the corner and then keep the throttle around 50% and then just full throttle out of the corner. Up to turn 10 where you brake just before the grass begins on your left side. Going down to 2nd, short shift to 3rd and then be careful on the throttle here, so maybe also short shift to 4th. But full throttle around this corner and then down to turn 12 where you brake around here, so when your view cuts some of the big Rolex text off, then go down to 3rd and don't hit the inside curb as it will kill you, short shifting to 4th and then just full throttle for the rest of the lap. So very easy the rest of the lap, just remember the DRS and then stay to the left of the track to minimize the track meters. And then that was a lap around Brazil in the time 1:07.538, but a bit more time to gain with more practice. But let me show you my grade setup. So for aerodynamics we use 20 on the front and 13 on the rear. For transmission I use 55 and 50. Then for geometry it's all the way to the right for camber and all the way to the left for toe. The suspension is 4-1, 3-1 for entry roll bar and then 5-4 for ride height. Brakes are 150 and then the front tires are 22.5 while the rears are 23.0. So that was the setup, and then let's jump right into the race strategy. So the strategy for this race is, for the first time this series, gonna be medium soft, and you can put around 37.0 laps of fuel. The race setup is a bit different, so you wanna change the suspension to 4-3 and 3-2 for entry roll bar, and then change the tire pressure to 22.8 on the fronts and 21.3 on the rear, and then you're good to go. Then get some heat in the tires and hit the purple. So we started P5, so driving as a 2-time world champion we should be able to get the win here in Brazil. So we had a decent launch where we just kept our position, and then into the first corners I bumped into Leclerc but no damage, and then we did get Hamilton out of turn 2, so a fine start. But then I wanted to show you a lap around Brazil with high fuel, where you also can see the tire temperatures. So it is pretty much the same as in the Hotlap, brake around 5 meters before in turn 1 and then coming down through the turns here. You don't want to stay as much to the left as in the Hotlap, as your tires will get higher wear. But I will let you take a look at the lap for a bit now. But going through turn 11 you want to lift a bit on the throttle so you don't get higher temperatures on your tires. This way you will have a nicer wear on your tires as well. But then from here and the rest of the lap it is just flat out. So we got a 1:10.754 and the fastest lap time for now. And after 4 laps we have around 13% tire wear, so each lap is around 3 to 4% wear. Our normal lap time around this track is around 1:11.4-ish on the mediums. Then if you don't want to take a risk you want to pit at lap 16 for the hard tires, but we took a chance and kept going. But remember to change your strategy to soft so you don't end up on the hard tires. Then at the end of lap 23 you have around 67% tire wear, so go into the pits. Coming into the pit lane you want to brake around 105 meters so you don't exceed the pit limits. Make sure to turn in when it shows 0.5 to hit the purple, getting the soft on. And then coming out of the pits the tires are cold, so try to weave a lot on the straight before turn 4 to get some heat into them, but brake before usual until they're up to temperature. The pit exit can be a bit tricky in Brazil, so take a look at how I did it. Then after 2 laps we have around 9% tire wear, so around 4 to 5% each lap. And we got the fastest lap time in the time 109.867. So a great lap, but on a normal lap on the soft the time should be around 110.2ish. And at the end of last lap we were just ahead of Leclerc, only 0.2 seconds ahead going into the final corners. But take a look at the time down to Russell, so me and Leclerc had been a lot quicker than the rest. But our fuel load was 0.4 laps, so that was fine, but you can use what I said at the beginning of the race. Our tires were around 67%, so if you're good at tire management and like to take a risk, do this. But if you wanna be safe, do medium hards instead. But then that was it from me. If you want more of this, please like and subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next one.